Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host, and I am really excited about the guest I have on today. Her name is Michele Aldrich, and I'm gonna let her tell you about her. Like she's absolutely amazing. I can't wait for you guys to hear her story. So let me welcome my guest, Michele. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I
So yeah,
I
go ahead.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love what you do. So a little bit about me is that we met just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Was it that long ago? Was it?
It was a couple, 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm an architect and also do personal fitness training. And yeah, I think I just got into Grant Cardone. I think that's how we kind of met,
It
right?
is. Yeah, it is. Definitely.
That circle.
Yeah.
I read his book and it changed my entire life.
Which
So,
book?
the 10X book.
10X
So,
Rule. Yeah.
yeah,
That book's.
I grew up in Kansas and I went off to architect out in Hong Kong. And then I came back and I decided I wanted to do a little bit more entrepreneurial stuff. And I was talking to this one guy and he was like, "You got to check out this guy named Grant." And I'm like, "Okay." So I was like, "Okay, what about this guy?" And so
Yeah.
then he was like, "You got to read this book." Okay, all right. And I got him on Audible and I was on the Stairmaster, right? I was in my weight loss journey too. I was on the Stairmaster and I was just getting amped up from listening to this book on the Stairmaster. I'm like, how is this book like motivating me so much? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of how I got into the whole like success crowd, I guess I call it now,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
So you grew up in. Let's start with. You were born and raised in Kansas. What
yes.
part of Kansas?
I grew up in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually spent a week in Wichita once.
Oh yeah.
I did.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
parents still live there. My brother and my little niece are there too.
Really
So, uh-huh. Yep.
nice.
And then
My
I want.
my brother my brother-in-law was an Air Force pilot, and him and my sister were stationed in Wichita for
Oh,
I
okay.
I don't even know how long, a couple years or so, and I went out there one summer and spent a week out there. So, but
That's awesome.
yeah,
What'd you think of it?
I don't remember. I really, it's been so long ago. I don't.
Well, Kansas is kind of one of those flyover states anyway, so
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I can
so's Ohio.
understand
So
that.
yeah.
Can
So
totally
so
understand
you so
that.
you grew up in Wichita, and I mean, was life pretty perfect?
I mean, life was just very, dad was an engineer, mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
We had the whole suburban life. Life was not hard. There was lots of church.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the most, lots of church. And then, yeah, so I mean, it was just a very normal childhood, really. So I
Yeah.
got three kids in my family. I'm the middle child. So,
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that.
oh,
So
yeah.
so yeah, so as you like grew up, you went to high school. I mean, what was it that made you go, I want to be an architect?
I think I was in fine arts. I'm a good I draw well. And
Yeah.
then I decided that I'll go to school, go to college, and kind of figure it out. Got into fine arts school, and then was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this. I was in class with like people who thought they were animals. They wore tails and ears, and I said, I don't know if I really I don't know what to think of this. If this is like the destiny, this is a little bit too weird for me.
Yeah. This was in fine arts school?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. They were called the furries.
Oh
They
my
were called the
god.
furries. And so I was like, okay, I was good at math and I was good at drawing. So I decided maybe I'll try architecture. And then I got into the school, I had to pass calculus and physics. It was terrible, but
Yeah.
I did it. And then I think it was about my third year where I was like, gosh, I don't even know if this is for me, but because it's a hard school, you know.
Yeah.
I got my master's in it, and I mean, it was just the school on campus is known as the lighthouse because it's just always lit up from everybody working so hard. But I think it was just that moment where when you can draw something and then see it physically built, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's just seeing something in a very tangible physical form from what you had in your mind. I think that was the most exciting part about architecture.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was
That
cool.
that would have to be incredibly cool to be
Yeah,
able to see that happen.
it's a very cool experience for sure. Even just with 3D, you know, just
Yeah.
taking it from a 2D to seeing it in a 3D model is very cool to me. So,
Wow. And
yeah.
and so you don't know though what it was that made you go, I want to be an architect? Like just
No.
it was just one of the like I like drawing. I don't like the
It's kind of a
weirdos.
boring. It's very boring story. Yeah, it's a very boring story. I know, but no, I did shadow an architect in Kansas, and I think it was Ben. He owned a firm, and he showed me around, and I said, okay, yeah, this looks pretty cool. All right, and you know, it was my dad's an engineer, so I was like, okay, this makes sense. So yeah, boring story. Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's but so you went to architect school. You obviously got your master's degree, you said.
Uh-huh.
You come out and you get a job in architecture and you're making millions of dollars and that's
No.
lived
Uh,
happily ever after.
No, that's not how it goes at all.
Oh.
Especially when I graduated. So it was 2008, the recession hit, and I realized that every single architect was being laid off for taking my job, which was less than $10 an hour at the time. Senior architects were taking whatever they could get. And I realized that I had to do something. So I ended up going overseas to Paris, and I took an internship there and worked under some really cool architects and ended up getting hired with them. I went back out to Paris. And then from Paris, we were working on a project that was in Hong Kong. And they asked me to move to Hong Kong and set up the firm and kind of be in the face of the client and build a project. But I was one of the very lucky ones. You know, it wasn't very easy. It was just like, you know, a constant struggle to either get a job, to keep the job required, you know, working 80 hours a week, something stupid.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was just, you know, like it's not at the end of it, you're still only making you know, like architects don't even get paid that well. So
They don't?
no.
Hold it. What wasn't
Starting salary is about 50 grand, maybe.
what?
Maybe. If maybe with a master's degree and
Shut
with
up. Are you
yeah, yeah,
kidding
yeah.
me?
No, I'm not kidding. Architects are probably the most underpaid profession in the entire world. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so you go through all that school, hard school, and you're getting, you know, 50 grand out maybe out of school.
What? That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy. And that was when I was like, okay, I needed to go the entrepreneur route.
Wow. Okay, so were you making 50 grand a year in Hong Kong?
My starting out salary, gosh, I want to say was in the 40s, but my living was paid for. My living was paid
Okay,
for
so maybe 70-ish.
50, 55, I would say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you know, like even, you know, like then in Hong Kong, my next salary was, I think I was making 65 at my next one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, right? You
Oh
never
my
think, like, you
gosh.
don't think you go to that much school and you do all that for under six figures. And you know, like I grew up in Kansas in a middle class family, so I didn't know the difference. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, this
right?
is great. I mean, at that time at the recession, it was just good to have a job, to be honest. So I was
Yeah.
grateful. You know, you're
Well,
always
and
grateful.
I mean, and look, you got the experience of living in Hong
Oh
Kong,
yeah, it was
right?
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
It was amazing.
And I'm sure getting a master's degree didn't cost that much. So,
Oh yeah, not at all. No, absolutely. Absolutely not.
So, oh my God. So wasn't Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch? Wasn't he an architect?
I don't know. All I know is George Costanza really wanted to be an architect. Maybe he was my influencer.
Oh, that's
How
funny.
we got all the ladies, right? As an
Right.
architect.
There was a time in my life when I thought I wanted to be an architect. So I think I
Oh gosh,
told you that
people
before.
always tell me, "Oh yeah, I was good." I was like, "Good thing you didn't do it. Trust me. Good thing you didn't."
Yeah.
So,
Well, but you have that, you have that experience, you have that education, and that's incredible.
yeah.
So,
No, I don't regret any of it, And from architecture school, I learned how to just learn software, to be honest,
yeah.
cuz to do a project, you have to know at least 6 different softwares very well inside and out to actually, get your design and your vision out, whether that's in AutoCAD drafting, whether it's in 3D modeling, whether it's in a presentation in Adobe InDesign, like whatever. So
Right.
I learned how to pick up how to use tools to be able to do whatever I needed to do.
Right. Right.
So
So I'm messing with my controls here a little bit. I this
sure.
this light my lighting has me like I look pale. I'm like, what is going on with my lighting here?
Need the spray tan.
I know. I don't feel like I'm that washed out white. What the heck? Um so you were an architect and how long were you in Hong Kong, you said? Couple,
I was in Hong Kong for roughly 3.5 years,
oh
4.
wow.
Yeah, so I was
Wow.
there for a minute. I was in Paris for about off and on 8 months,
Okay.
and then I got shipped off to Hong Kong, and I loved Hong Kong. I love Asia, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
definitely could go back there again. So,
Really? And live
oh
there?
yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
I lived
Really?
on a boat. I lived in an island. I loved life was good there. Yeah, it's great. So.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
great, yeah. And then I moved to Denver, and I'm here now.
Yeah.
And although it's cool, I don't know. I just miss the boat. I miss the sea. I miss kind of more of the adventure and like the kind of expats and stuff. So it's a little bit more quiet.
Yeah. What
Very
Denver
granola.
Denver is
Very
or
granola here.
what's that?
Granola.
In Denver?
Oh yes.
Are you a fan of granola? I have so many friends in Colorado, and I'm always joking with them. I'm like, "Hey, did you hug your local tree today?" So that's funny. But so how long have you been? Now you moved to Denver from Hong Kong. Like
Yeah.
what made you leave Hong Kong if you loved it so much?
Because I got fat.
You
Like,
got what?
because I got fat. I was working
Fat?
all the time. Yeah, I got fat.
You?
Yeah, I got fat. That's why my whole transformation happened. So I was working all those hours as the architect, and I just found myself just fat. And I was like, oh my God, I have to make a change. And so then I just got obsessed with fitness and was like, all right, I need like a full out change. And I had missed the States a little bit. It's like Hong Kong is cool, but there's some things that like you just miss when you're abroad. You miss your family, you miss your friends, you miss just like the States. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to make this change. I gotta get back. I gotta do something. And so yeah, I got obsessed with fitness, and then decided I was gonna enter this bodybuilding competition. And I'm just that type of person who just like I'm just in it.
Hold it.
Go big
You
or go
you
home.
decided you're going to enter a bodybuilding competition and you
Yes,
were still fat?
I was fat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, I mean, even when I started my fitness journey, like I started listening, it was Eric Thomas.
Oh,
He
I
was
love
like,
ET.
I had him in my ear every single morning about what 4:30 a.m. I would put Eric Thomas in my ear pods, and I would go to the CrossFit gym. I would run there. I'd run to the CrossFit gym, which was about a mile. And then I would do my CrossFit. I would have Eric Thomas on the way back. And then, like just decided, all right, I'm doing this thing. So,
Wow. So Hold it. Were you running to the CrossFit gym fat?
Fat. Yeah.
Really?
Fat.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
fat.
What's fat? I mean, fat or just like a
Fat.
few pounds?
Fat. 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 And I'm 5 feet tall, so like every pound matters. Every pound has a,
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So you moved back to now. Wait, you moved back to Denver.
I had a girlfriend who lived out here.
Oh,
Who
okay.
still lives out here. I grew up with her in Wichita, and she's in real estate in Denver, and she was like, "Oh, you'll love Denver, try it." And so I said, "Okay, why not?" And so I decided on Denver. I definitely knew I couldn't go back to Kansas.
And what year was that? What year?
That was 2014.
Okay.
2014. So I've been here for about 5 years.
So you get your fat butt on an airplane.
Yes, get my fat butt on the airplane. Practically needs a double seat. Yeah.
That is so funny. I can't even believe I'm talking to Michele Aldrich about being fat. That's ridiculous. So I just put I posted that you're on my show, and I put a couple of the one of you in the 10X gear and the one of you on the Jeep. I use those your modeling pictures. I'm like, yeah, you look so fat, like just huge.
Yeah. There was a lot of work.
So
it was a terrible, like very, very long journey. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's. I gotta slow the story down. Okay, so you were in. So you flew. You quit your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they said, "Why are you quitting?" You said, "Because I'm fat."
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
I'm fat, guys.
So you fly back to Denver. You have a friend in Denver, but what did you do for work?
I believe, let's see, contract work, and then
as an architect.
Or design, and then I also was doing some leasing as well. I was working as a leasing officer, and then doing some personal. Yeah, I wasn't a trainer then, so yeah, that's what I was doing.
Wow. So
I eventually did do training though, and I got my first like fitness class gig. So that was
really
fun. Yeah, $25 an hour. I was working as a fitness instructor.
Oh my gosh. And that's a lot different than being an architect.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
And then the more I got into fitness, I sat there and was like, hey, really kind of still miss design.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that I always get torn up with is like focusing on one thing, and it's one of my true things is I have so many different passions. When you do, it's hard to choose one sometimes.
Yeah.
And really go at that. So yeah.
So you were and at what point did you start? How long were you in Denver before you started doing the personal training, fitness training stuff?
Not too long. I started doing training pretty early on in Denver because I had put some work in Hong Kong. As far as I think I did start working on getting my personal training degree while I was in Hong Kong.
Oh.
And then and then once I finally got it, that's when I started doing it. So
okay,
it was pretty early on when I came to Denver.
Okay, so you weren't fat anymore?
I mean, I was still kind of fat.
Really?
I was more fit. Yeah.
You were more fit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I've seen not super healthy fitness trainers, and I'm like, how do they get business? How's that work?
Yeah, you just like.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken, when I was really at the personal training, I wasn't fat. So
right.
I'm thinking about that. I was like, that's not who I am. I couldn't do it. If I haven't walked the talk enough, I'm like,
right.
Fat. And I say fat. When I was personal training, like, I wasn't fat. Like,
I'm sure you
in my brain, I thought I was.
Right.
But, it was probably 120 pounds.
Right. 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 So that's not fat. So and I know that you're doing. I know the other day you were invited to speak, and you're doing a lot of incredible things. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about over the last 5-6 years. You've had some pretty big shifts, I believe,
Yeah.
from what I know. I mean, what are some of the things that the challenges that you've faced? And because that's what this show's about. It's about helping people that are facing challenges, who've hit a brick wall and they can't get through it or don't know what to do. What are some of the challenges you've faced, and how did you get through them?
Yeah, I mean, my speech was on my experience in working in Hong Kong, and I don't really think I really talked about that too much. Every single day was just a fight or flight. Like it was sink or swim, and it was my first job out of college, right?
Yeah.
And so every single day, I was up against people with 25 years plus experience. And I'm this little girl from Kansas
Yeah.
who's representing a French firm, doesn't speak French,
Oh my
and
God.
sitting up against the British structural engineers, the French environmental engineers, the Australian contractors, the Hong Kong architects. And I'm sitting there being like, no, guys, we are going to have steel columns. We will not do concrete. And I'm sitting here like, who am I? You know what I
Wow.
mean? And so it was just a very different, it was just an experience that I took from, and I'll touch on what I've been doing 5-6 years, but that experience taught me so much on how to persevere and really believe in yourself no matter what circumstance you're in. And like we always go through a lot of situations where we feel like an imposter whenever we sit there and try to motivate others, when sometimes we might not even feel that confident ourselves.
Yep.
And so this experience just like really taught me how to do that, and that every single time, like I'd be working around the clock just to make sure that all of these decisions were going to be made and that we were keeping the design integrity. But what I learned was just that it doesn't matter. You just got to keep fighting every single day and believe in yourself no matter what. Like at the end, like if you make a mistake, who cares?
Yep.
You just have to keep at it and
Right.
keep pushing and keep pushing. But yeah, the last 5 years, my shifts have really been from really finding out who I am. And that's, am I an architect? Am I a fitness trainer? And so it's just been kind of a combination of figuring it out. And for my own self, it's kind of like, I just like to do it all, really. So
Yeah.
I do my design and I do my fitness. So
So you're still doing design?
yeah, I'm building a couple residential homes right now, luxury homes right now. So I do contract work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
So
moly. So I feel so dumb talking to you.
what?
Like a master's degree architect, like that's crazy. So you like I was just sitting here thinking I got to ask her this, and it completely left. Guess it wasn't that important.
I guess not.
So I know that you're doing some speaking engagements now.
Yes.
And I know, and oh, I know what it was. So I know you're involved in Arete with Ed Milet and
Yes.
Andy Frisilla. And
Yeah.
I was promoting yesterday. Ed Milet interviewed Heidi and Chris Powell.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that interview by chance?
I haven't seen it. I'll have to somebody told me that I have to listen to it. I heard it was amazing.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely. Yeah. And so I posted it on Instagram, and Heidi Powell commented on my post. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
They're amazing.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I usually always listen. Usually I'm a little bit behind, but yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Totally check it out.
But I have people who are like, "Hey, did you hear this podcast?" Or that? I'm like, man, no, I didn't.
No.
But like, what I love about this particular podcast is, Chris and Heidi, they start talking about self-confidence. And they say, and this is where I want to talk. I want you to talk a little bit about this, because they say in this interview that they always, every single time they've had somebody come in and lose hundreds of pounds, right? It all started with a guy that Chris met and he literally lost 400 pounds. The guy was
Wow.
625 pounds. And the
That's
transformation was incredible, right? But
Yeah.
he had a guy, he's had 70 some people lose hundreds of pounds each. And a lot of these people go back and they start gaining the weight back after they're out of the program.
Right.
And Chris said that it always 100% of the time goes back to one single broken promise they made to themselves. Like he goes, instead of the guy he traced this one guy back to, instead, he was at the gas station, he was getting something to drink, and instead of hitting the Diet Coke, he hit the regular Coke, and he's like, I'll just do it this one time. And they trace it all the way back to that one time. It's an incredible interview talking about that, the broken promises. So I know that you work with a lot of people, and I'm sure you've helped people lose a ton of weight. What do you see are some of the things that causes people to kind of relapse or go back into their old patterns?
Yeah, it's definitely, you're hitting on something very, very good, because it's always that you get comfortable and you think that this one time, this one bite, this one meal, this one time, and I talk to a lot of my clients about, they struggle on the weekends, and they say, oh, but I've been hitting the gym so hard. Well, you can't out gym a bad diet. You just can't. And so,
right.
It's always about when your priorities shift a little bit, or you feel like you've gotten some momentum, and then just kind of backing off a little bit and giving yourself a little bit of a break.
Yep.
And I mean, it's not even just clients. I've struggled with it myself, and it's just that you have to know that I talk about the details matter, and that's one of the details. It's just that you have to keep pushing every single day. It's just, you can't be on sometimes and off sometimes, and then not know what happened.
Right. But does that mean like with I like once in a while brownies. I'm not a huge sweets person, but once in a while I like things like that. I mean, so to stay fit, do you have to eat like lettuce all the time, or?
No, it's about educating yourself mostly. I usually say that I like when people are super motivated for about 6 weeks, I think is a good time, when they just are so disciplined and just are charging so hard. And then you really, once you don't give yourself any leeway in this period of time, you learn how to eat. You see the results. You get really more motivated, more confident, and then you really understand, okay, I got this. I can keep going. And then once you've gotten to your goal, you don't stop being crazy persistent until you've gotten to your goal.
Right.
Then you can start introducing more brownies, or, maybe, going out on the weekend, one, not the whole weekend, like one meal for the week, not like, a binge fest for the weekend, but, like just in moderation, starting to really be able to add more back in. But until you understand your body more and how to eat, for a longer duration of, like, once you educate yourself is really what it's about. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, I know you're starting to do some speaking engagements. Is that right? Or is it just the one that you've done, or you've done several?
No, I mean, I've done a couple, but that was like one of the bigger ones that I've done, and I'm ready to, start amping it up more. So that's what I'm looking forward to pursuing a little bit more vigorously. What's the word?
Yeah.
I'm more determined to get that going. So
have you had any like challenges in the last couple of 2, 3, 4 years that you thought, man, this is it, I'm not going to make it?
I think we have that like every day before noon, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think we're like super pumped by 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and then noon hits. It's like, oh gosh,
I'm not gonna make it. Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of times when it's, you start something, you're like, oh, I don't know if I see myself doing this for a long duration of time. Can I
Yeah.
keep pushing? Can I keep doing this? And everything kind of shifts a little bit. So yeah, there's been challenges. I don't know if I'm really answering that very well, but
Well, I guess what is it that because I know you're an entrepreneur now. Like
yeah,
you're not an employee.
yeah.
What was that? What made you what pushed you there?
I think it was also when I was my experience when I was working at the corporate job in Hong Kong. It was that I looked around, I looked at all my senior architects that I was working for, and it
Mm,
was that moment that I said to myself, I don't want their job. I don't want their life.
right.
Like none of that looks good to me. And so it was like that epiphany moment, and this is why I really decided that I needed a change, was that I don't want their lives. So what am I sitting here slaving away for? Like, what's the next step if I go on this path and realize this path isn't for me? And so then I realized that, okay, I'm more of a, like I'm a dreamer. I'm a bit, I like to, I work hard, and then I also like to put, I like to execute on what I like. So
Sure.
I was like, well, I need to be an entrepreneur. So it was
Yeah.
at that moment. It was looking at seeing I didn't want that path.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was,
I mean that is one of the things that I think every entrepreneur that becomes a real entrepreneur. And I love Andy Frisella, and I watch some of he has some rants that he does
oh
that,
yeah, that's right.
and I love it because he just tells it like it is. I mean, he
Oh
just
yeah,
keeps it real. And so here you are now. You're this entrepreneur. You're a fitness trainer. You're doing architectural. Is it architectural design? Is that the right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
As a contractor, what's next for you? What's coming up?
Well, what's coming up is when is this gonna be posted?
It's posting right now. It's
Okay.
live.
In the future, I see myself going to back to Asia and actually putting on wellness retreats and doing maybe wellness based architecture out in Asia. So that's what I see in my future.
In Hong Kong?
Not necessarily Hong Kong,
Where
nor like
else?
Thailand or,
Mm.
like an island. So,
I had an hour-long meeting with a client of mine in Thailand last night until about 2 o'clock in the morning.
wow,
Yeah. So,
they
um,
loving it?
pardon me?
Are they loving it?
She absolutely loves it. Yes.
Yeah.
And she has a house here in the States too. But, so like, I think that's a great goal, definitely. And that's the thing. What do you think, and it's a perfect segue because, I've always been, now I have children, so it's a little bit more difficult when you have
Sure.
children. But I've always been like, let's go, let's just do it, let's go,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
It's fire, ready, aim for me.
Yeah.
And so what's stopping you from going now?
Nothing, Ken.
Oh, well, hey, see
Nothing.
you soon. Good luck
Well,
on your flight.
I'm going. I am going. I
I'm
have already
teasing.
made I've made a lot of stride in that.
Yeah,
So it's happening very soon.
good,
So
good. So
yeah,
how does everybody watching this, how or listening to this on iTunes, how can they follow you?
they can follow me on Instagram, Michele Aldrich Fit, or they can follow me on Facebook, Michele Aldrich. So
Okay, and it's
Michele, one L,
one
and
L.
then Aldrich, Aldrich.
What's up with the one L?
My mother. So it's her middle name. She's got one L, so it's a family thing.
Oh, is it? I'm friends with Michelle Rutt too, and
Yeah,
you both have one L in your name. I'm like, what the
I know.
heck?
Isn't that funny?
I've never met any Michelle with one L, and I now know two.
I know. It's hilarious.
So, so Michelle, what would you say is the number one? And this is your opinion. I ask this question of everyone. What's the number one thing that stops people from achieving success and happiness in life?
I would say it's two things. It's confidence and then not having not putting enough time in the game. Perseverance, just
Ooh,
fighting every day for it and just not giving up. So, yeah,
yeah,
you got to believe in yourself first that I can do this.
yeah.
And then second, you just have to keep doing it.
Where do you think that confidence comes from?
Doing it. Like every single time you get a little bit more confidence because you've found that okay, well, I did this yesterday, so I can do it again today.
Yep.
It's just experience, and it's just always being uncomfortable. And then once you're uncomfortable, it becomes comfortable.
Right. You're
Right.
right. You're right. So
Yeah.
if let's say that, and I always paint this scenario, and the reason I do is I've been in this position. I'm a recovered alcoholic with 17, almost 17 years sober, and it's a blessing and it's a
Good for
gift
you.
from God. And
That's
and but
amazing.
but but I always say that, look, there's been times since I got sober where I've had like repossessions. I've had all kinds of problems, right?
Right.
And challenges that I face. But if somebody called you and they said, Michelle, I can't figure it out. I've done everything I know how to do. My electric's getting shut off tomorrow. My car was repossessed last week. I can't figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What would you say to that person? Because and I know it starts there, right? So, but
Hmm.
what would you say to them in that moment to help get them over that hump?
I would tell them to breathe. That okay, well, if you're at the bottom, there's only one way up, and it's up, right?
Right, right,
And so you just have to know that you only can dig a little bit every single day to get out of it. So what's the one thing that you can do today that's going to help you? Is it going to be getting on the phone to see if that that potential client you talked to a few months back is going to sign up today for one of your you know your
right,
products?
right.
Or is it going to be that you need to get on the phone and see how you can first take the step to figure out what it is that you need to do to get your car back? Or is it that you need to um, you know figure out the one smallest problem that you can tackle today that's going to make a little bit more momentum for you so that you can keep snowballing to handle all of the bigger problems you have going on to then
Love it.
claw out of it. So
Love
I would say
that.
that's
I
it.
love. Hey, that's a great answer. I mean,
Snowball.
you got the confidence thing. I believe for me and for probably 99% of the world, having that self confidence. We follow people like Grant Cardone and Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and all these amazing people, and we look at them and we go, man, like, look at Michele Aldrich. I mean, she's perfect. And like, there's no way she could ever have a lack of self-confidence, right? But everybody goes through that.
Right.
Everybody.
There's no way she could have been really, really fat.
I still don't believe you were really, really fat.
Okay, I'm gonna share my picture with you. Absolutely. I can't wait to show you.
Oh my gosh, that is
But
so funny.
like those are even Andy is inspiring because he talks so much about, the low periods and what he went through to get to where he's at. And,
Yeah.
there was a lot of times when he was just like, why am I doing this? And I mean, he's living out of his shop in the back of the room on a
Yeah.
nasty mattress.
For 10
And so
years.
yeah, for a long time. And
Right.
so it's like, from the outside looking in, especially with, social media, you can choose what photos you want to share. You can
Yeah.
choose what you want to display. But at the core of it, you don't really know what's actually going on with that person, and you might just have the same problems as that person who you think is amazing and successful and whatever. So you just have to know that, I'm me, and I gotta be on my trajectory, and I have to do me. So,
Yep. That's
hmm
it. That's it. That's awesome. Well, Michele, I don't want to keep you all day. I really, really, truly appreciate you coming
So good to talk
on.
to you. Yeah. Thank
You're
you so much
awesome.
for having me.
I've been like for the last, I don't even know, a year. I got to reach out to Michele and see if she wants to be on the show. And then it was just last week. I saw a post you did, and I'm like, that's it. I'm doing it right now, and I did it. And you were like,
thank you for
yeah, and I'm
reaching
like,
out.
yeah,
It's been awesome.
you're awesome. So, thank you so much, everybody on here. Make sure you go follow Michele, and it's Michele with one L, Aldridge. And on Instagram, it's Michele Aldrich Fit or
Yes.
okay, fit or fitness.
Fit.
Okay.
FIT.
It used to be Jeep Girl or something.
Not anymore. I changed it.
Did you?
I can't have a Jeep in my island, so.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Holy crap. I love it. So we can call it Michele Aldrich Boat. No.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Fit seems to work. So you're going to share your fat pictures now?
Yeah, I can't wait.
But you know what though? That is really motivating for somebody struggling to see that it's possible.
I agree, and that's why I like to share it.
Yeah.
It's because it's exactly what you touched on. You don't know what somebody has gone through to get there. And even when I first started, I didn't realize that these hot girls on bodybuilding.com weren't born that way. Like
I know.
You don't realize that there's a lot of work, especially when I started, because Instagram's full of it. But like I didn't know. So
well, and that I think is a huge problem with social media. Is a lot of us get on social media, we'll scroll. The average person scrolls like 300 yards a day or something with their thumb on Facebook and Instagram.
I didn't know that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like everybody's going to have these huge thumb muscles, but like, like what the heck? But like the thing is though, is these, we're going through Instagram, we're going through Facebook, we're looking at this stuff, and we're comparing our full life stories to these tiny little clips. I mean, It takes literally, you could take your phone out, get a nice ring light, and with that beautiful backdrop behind you, snap a picture, and you look like everything in the world is absolutely perfect, right? And it's like nobody sees that the pain, the fear, the all of the hard work, the terror, the night terrors.
Oh yeah.
Waking up at 3 a.m. going, oh my God, how am I gonna eat? So
yeah.
People don't understand all of that. They think that it's all, and it's not. So I try like crazy to teach people, man, don't compare yourself to other people.
You can't do that. You just can't. You're going to just be in a downward spiral. It's no fun.
It sucks doing that. So anyway, Michele, thank you so much. You rock. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you to everybody who watched this, and thank you to everyone that shared this out. You all rock. Michele, thank you again so much.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Stay. Don't hang up on me yet. Don't hang up. I'll see you guys later. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.